Centers is the only human trafficking treatment center in the state of Arkansas. We recognized that we were seeing a lot of survivors of human trafficking come through the program, and they needed a special treatment track for that. So we started our program in 2014, and it has evolved and grown into what it is today. Girls all across Arkansas, right there in your neighborhoods, girls that you know are being trafficked. Some of them are still living at home while the trafficking has happened. Some of them are runaways while they're being trafficked. But if we don't have this treatment center, they're going to continue to be trafficked. It's not going to end. And unfortunately, the problem is just going to continue to grow. But we want to help these girls to be survivors of trafficking and go out and live successful lives, very productive lives.
About 40% of all the cases we see nationwide, but especially here in Arkansas, is familial trafficking. Familial trafficking is being trafficked by someone in your family. It could be an aunt, it could be a mother, a father, and they are, we call it turning out, or they're selling their child or someone in their family for sex or labor.
Kids come to us because they're showing red flags and indicators being trafficked. They'll be referred from the juvenile court system, law enforcement, Department of Child and Family Services, or they have a disclosure of trafficking to someone, or they've been found being trafficked, right? So we begin walking alongside that child and providing consistent crisis response to them, advocacy, mentorship, because now that they're most likely a victim of trafficking, or they are a victim of trafficking, you've got all these systems that are coming at them, right? They need a safe place to go, and Centers is that safe place to go. So, and it helps disrupt that chaos and allows for their brains to just kind of rest and begin that healing journey.
I want to create a trauma-informed environment. Just having it look calm is like a huge battle here, because it is a residential facility. So we want the girls to walk in, we want it to feel like home, we want them to feel comfortable.
When they walk through the front doors, I want them to see people who understand. As a survivor, we can't often say, this is exactly what's happening to me. And so having staff that understand what that person is walking through is vitally important, but then also the environment around them being warm and welcoming, and having things that they can do where they can just be a kid for a little bit and kind of put on the back burner that they've had all these negative experiences just for a few minutes. And then having those times where they are in the therapeutic setting and they can process what they've been through.
And so while they're here, they're able to be safe. They can begin healing, and our relationship with them can continue. And then they leave there, they're now on a different path when they leave here.
As someone who is very much walking in the life with them of their healing journey, I want to be able to be equipped with the best tools that I can to be able to help empower them and build them up, and then just kind of move forward in their healing.
Being a victim of child sex trafficking is one of the worst types of trauma that you can experience, and it takes so much specialized intervention. And so one thing I respect so much about Centers is they're committed to having the highest level of training and keeping their staff trained on it, so that they are providing those special interventions. And it's expensive for y'all to, have your staff trained on that and keeping them up to date, and then offering all those different types of interventions that children that have been trafficked really, really need while they're in placement and in treatment.
What the state pays for is for that basic care, so that's not looking at the complex trauma that trafficking victims have. And so this program is so much more expensive because of the complex needs, just rebuilding that safe environment. Everything that they've missed out on, and actually it's probably why some of them are trafficked, is because they weren't getting that before.
A successful outcome for me looks like when they leave Centers, that they know that they have worth and value and that somebody cares about them. And even if they did find themselves back in this situation, they knew they had somebody to call that they trusted and knew that they would respond with care and kindness towards them.
I love to see our survivors back in the community, building up their relationships with their family. I see them, graduating high school, getting into college, having babies, just seeing how much that their lives are able to move forward after their healing. It's beautiful to see.
By giving to centers, you truly are offering healing. And I'm really grateful. All of our staff, our advocates that carry a caseload of 15 to 20 kids that are working every day, they are so grateful that there's a place like Centers for these kids that they love to come to.
When you give tonight, you're giving to a specific kid. You're giving to someone who has been through some of the most horrible things that you could ever imagine. And by you donating to Centers, you're providing them hope that they don't have to stay in that life, that there's something more for them, that they have worth and value and dignity, and it's not based on what someone can offer, how much somebody offers to buy their body for. It's because they exist, because they deserve to be loved. And as a survivor myself of human trafficking, that moment when they walk through Center's doors and they see that somebody loves and cares about them for them and who they are, that's a pivotal moment. It's the moment where this kid realizes that their trafficker has lied to them. And in that moment, they get to start feeling that they're safe and that somebody does care. And that's what Centers is here to do.